Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
It's good to come to you guys this evening. I know I gave such a short notice. I meant to send a blast out last night, but I got so busy last night and didn't get a chance to do it. But anyway, greetings in the name of Yah. We have a very interesting subject we're going to talk a little bit about the end times and what's going on. And hopefully, for some of you who don't believe that we're not in the end times, maybe this will help to convince you of it.
This is one of those reality check type messages.
Exactly.
Because again, a lot of our people are asleep. And I often refer to it as La La Land.
La La Land, exactly. Exactly.
And a lot of our people dwell there in La La Land.
That's right.
It's our goal to keep things in perspective of what time we're in.
That's right.
So that our people can understand that we have to gird up our loins and we have to be abreast of what's going on constantly. The scripture actually tells us that we should be able to discern the times.
That's right. You know, it's kind of like my wife said, technically, when you really think about what the scripture says when it's dealing with the last days, okay, it says, she said, we should be able to discern the times, okay. Well, how do you discern the times? And the Most High, he lets you know in the scriptures that you're supposed to discern the times, kind of like the same way you discern when you look at the weather, you know, when you see when the seasons come, it's better way, okay, because when the seasons change. And it's summertime now, pretty much, okay? Well, you know when the fall is about to come in, when you look and you start to see what? What is it that makes you know that the fall is about to come?
The leaves start to change.
The leaves start to change colors, that's right. Trees begin to lose their leaves. That's when you know the fall is here. When you know the winter is here, huh? It starts to get colder, the leaves fall completely off the trees. Well, the signs of the times are similar to that. So we want to kind of bring your attention to some of these signs and some of the things that's going on in these last days, because I've heard plenty of people say, no, we're not in the last days. We're not in those times. And I just beg to differ, you know, because I just believe that we're in these last times, you know.
I do too. I mean, sometimes when I look at posts on Facebook, a lot of the posts we see are so full of nonsense.
Yeah.
It's almost as if these people think life is going to go on and on,
yeah.
and on and on and on, and that they have nothing to be concerned about.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it kind of saddens me to see our people in that condition, because our people are always the last ones to jump aboard on anything.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And so every so often we need to give ourselves these wake-up calls. We have to admonish one another daily, and that's what we're doing.
That's right.
We just want you all to pay attention. There's a few channels that we subscribe to on YouTube where they give you like a weekly, sometimes monthly, sometimes weekly updates of what's taking place around the world. I mean, they give you a whole compilation of one disaster after the other that's taking place in this present time. And it's sad when you have people who don't want to pay attention to those things. You know,
that's
like I bet I can call up a number of people that we know, family and friends, who don't even know that more than 7,000 or 8,000 people died in Nepal in an earthquake last week.
That's right. You know, it's a shame that we're like my wife said, we're the last to come aboard when things get happening. We're the last ones to find out about it. You know, we are the last ones to prepare for it. You know, you got people that's been preparing for doomsday 20 years ago. You know what I mean? And they prepared 20 years ago. We don't prepare for anything. If the lights go out and all hell breaks loose on this planet, we won't even have an extra bottle of water to last us the next day.
That's because I hate to say it, but they've created a dependency in us.
That's right.
To where many of our people say, well, the government gonna help us out. And we got to understand, they gave us an idea of how they're going to respond to any type of disaster that's going to hit this country, especially in Black communities.
That's right.
When Hurricane Katrina hit,
that's right.
We saw our people floating by on the television screen, on
Yeah.
the news screen. We saw their bodies laying off to the sides of the road.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think we forget very quickly that things can come up on you fast,
That's
and
right.
that you'll be ill prepared for it, and that when these disasters do come, that nobody's waiting on the sidelines saying, "Let me help those poor Black people."
That's right.
As a matter of fact, when things hit this country in mass, you can best believe that Black neighborhoods will be the last to be dealt with. Okay, so we just want our people to understand that we've already had a struggle here in this country, and to not pay attention to what's going on is really foolish. It's really
That's right.
nonsensical to not pay attention.
That's right.
We need to pay attention.
That's right. You know, it's. I hope this lesson really gets some of you all to really pay attention, and some of you all out there in the land, you know, of the internet, and you know they even they watch this broadcast or they watch the video once it's up on YouTube, because it's very important that we get it. I hope that it calls you all to really start to seek the Most High, and just make sure that you're ready. You know, be ready. Watch, pray, be ready. It talks about being ready. Being ready for what? For what's about to come. So we're gonna try to shed a light on what's about to come now. Okay, because we want to know, where are we in the last days? Okay, where are we? We're gonna see if there's any signs at today's time that's going to tell us where we are now. Okay, so let's start off. We're gonna start reading the passage in 2 Timothy, chapter 3. And this is going to be we're going to read verse 1 through 9. Let's see. Deborah, I'm having you read 1 through 5, and I guess I'll let Elijah read 6 through 9.
Okay. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away.
Elijah.
Okay.
6 through 9.
Okay, wait, hold on 1 second. I got the international version. Okay, 6 through 9. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. Now, as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so also do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith, but they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. Okay.
Now, let's look at this passage here real quickly here, and let's look at some of the things that it talks about. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. What do you mean by perilous times? Peril. What does peril mean?
Tough times, rough times, bad times.
That's right.
Unsure, unstable.
That's right.
Mayhem, chaos.
That's right. That's exactly what it means. So you hear that? Mayhem and chaos, okay? Furious, dangerous times. Dangerous times are going to come. So, I mean, man, it's telling you here that it's coming, and ain't nothing you can do to stop it. This is prophecy. It says, for men should be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers. We've seen all of this.
Yes.
Okay, all of this has escalated over the last few years than it has in the time of Paul when he wrote this. Okay, so disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. Now, what does that mean, without natural affection?
Things that the Most High intended to be a certain way, man has gone overboard, and their affections are no longer natural. And it don't just have to apply to unnatural sexual affections, but it can be unnatural things, period. I mean, in my opinion, you got my thought, man. You got it. I was just about to say that even eating unnatural food. You know, so anything that's not of the Most High, anything that's contrary is unnatural. An unnatural anything or feeling. You know, you have people who someone had posted a video on Facebook yesterday, and I said, you know, this is just so disgusting. But it was a compilation of all of these people kissing their dogs and cats, and the animals turning away. I think the animals know. You know what I'm saying? They try to kiss these animals in the mouth, and the animals are like, don't you know that ain't natural? You ain't supposed to be putting your lips on me. These animals are pushing them away like this. Come on now. It's almost like the laws of Yah are written even in the animals, and they know something is wrong. But you got people with these unnatural affections towards all kinds of things. Towards everything. You know, they got more affection for an animal than they do a human being. They see a human being starving on the side of the road, won't help them at all. But you let a little dog be walking on the side of the road, laying there hurt with his paw up or whatever. They look at that, they get that dog and give him a home to live in and be on the phone calling people, hey, we got a dog here, you know. But that poor man be laying on the side of the road hurt, won't even lift a finger for him. You know, unnatural affection for things. Even objects even. You got people that'll kill you over a cell phone.
I got another one. Like you take like the riots, for instance, that just happened this past month, and you got people more concerned about shops being burned down than the life of Freddie Gray.
That's right. That's a good example. More concerned about the buildings that are being burned than the fact that somebody died suffering.
That's right.
You know, and that's, I mean, the scripture actually says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. We even see that within families and communities.
That's right.
Where there is just zero tolerance for each other. But we have all of these things that we're so attached to. I mean, all of these things, you know, people crack me up how they're so in love with Mother Nature. You know, they're the ones who tore the place up. Okay. And they love the inventions that go against Mother Nature, but then they claim to love Mother Nature.
Exactly.
You know,
it's amazing. You know, I was thinking about that unnatural affection and people just the love of many shall wax cold. I remember years ago when I heard the story, I was shocked. There was an Asian lady, I think it was in the California area, but I'm not sure. But it was an Asian lady that killed her twin sister.
Yes, I remember that.
You remember that? And I thought I'm like, you killed your twin? Your twin?
That is so strange.
That is strange because twins are usually closer than any other brothers and sisters in the world. They're closer than they can feel things from each other, you know?
And they were identical.
They were identical twins. She killed her twin. And when I heard that, I couldn't understand that.
Unbelievable.
What kind of affection and love do we have here in today's time?
None.
Yeah, it's
people
crazy.
Are so cold.
That's right.
So cold-hearted that, I mean, the worst crimes you see being committed today.
That's right.
They're just horrible.
That's right.
You know, I saw an article someone posted today where it looks like an Asian baby, but the mother was breastfeeding and the baby bit her. And she stabbed that baby in the face 91 times. I'm like, what was wrong with this woman? Okay, you were nurturing enough to breastfeed the child. Well, something happened when that child bit you to where you couldn't contain yourself. So you stabbed the child 91 times in the face.
That's absolutely horrible.
I mean,
I didn't even hear that one. I'm hearing it for the first time now, and
we saw
and I'm sitting there like that is just crazy.
Yeah, we saw it posted on Facebook today. And so one thing I can say about the internet, it has opened up a world of information and knowledge.
That's right.
Things that we haven't seen before or haven't heard of before, we're able to see it because people are constantly sharing information. And so I think this is what has made it to the point where we can now get a grip on what reality is. We can now discern the time better because, you know, before the internet came, a lot of us were sick. I remember the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. You know, we were just all just chilling at that time.
Yeah.
Everybody was just chilling. That was the chill period.
Yeah.
You see, and now the internet has made us take a better look at what's always been going on. All of these things that we see happening today, they've always been happening. There's always been the crazy police murders. You know, when I listen to some of Malcolm X's old clips, it sounds like we're listening to something that just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, so nothing has changed, but the internet has allowed us to see more of what's going on behind the scenes. That's
right. The only thing that have actually changed, I agree with you on that. The only thing that have actually changed over the years since the 70s are some of the natural disasters and things that are going on with the world. Those are the only things that have really changed, and that's something that's going to be some of our focal point to determine where we are in this time. But it's kind of amazing though, and I tell you, it's just amazing. We're going to look at some of these things. You know, in this passage it says people would be, it says, truce breakers, false accusers. Well, it's always, and you think about truce breakers. So that's a person, they make a truce and then they break it. You know what I mean? And
that reminds me of what was done to the Native Americans.
I was about to go with the Native Americans. That's right. Yeah, they make these treaties with them, and then they would break the treaty. I tell you, that's something. Traitors. Notice it says false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. So you sitting there despising somebody, you looking at them, and they're a good person, and you sitting there despising them, just looking at them, despising them. Man, that is crazy.
I wanted to deal with that false accusers for a minute.
Go ahead.
It's kind of funny, but Pastor Dow had did a video where he was talking about someone sent him a letter, and it was kind of right along the lines of some things that we're going through right now. You know, I said this is funny because these things are happening all the time to various people, but false accusers. Yeah. We just found out, somebody just informed us that we are Nazis. Me and my husband.
Nazis, we're Nazis.
Somebody else told us we communists. Yeah. You know, and I found out I was a prick one day.
I have yet to figure what that means. What is a prick anyway?
I mean, every day I'm something different, and it just cracks me up how we can be compared to Hitler. Yeah. You know, and you know, someone said, why do you all hate gays and all of this other stuff? And I'm like, man, we hardly even talk about gays.
Yeah, we don't even mention those.
And I said, look, understand this. Despisers of those that are good, okay? If we are teaching what the word says and you disagree with that, you don't disagree with us. Yeah. You disagree with the word, because the Most High said it's an abomination for two men to come together or for two women to come together. That's not a Deborah thing, and that's not a Yahoo thing.
Yeah, that's the word.
The word of the Most High. It's an abomination, and it has nothing to do with hate. I don't go around looking at gays like, I don't go around doing that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you just to prove something to you that I don't hate for gays. When I was very young, my godfather was gay. I didn't know what gay was at the time. All I knew is this man loved me, okay? And he would do things for me, and he would take care of me if I needed boots or shoes or whatever. So it has nothing to do with hating a person because of a sin they're involved in. But when we are called to speak the Most High's word, we have to speak the truth. And just because you love someone that happens to be gay doesn't mean that you're supposed to keep away from the subject. It's wrong. Okay. Yeah. Just like overeating is wrong. Just like eating pork is wrong. Fornication is wrong.
Like smoking crack is wrong.
Smoking crack is wrong. I mean,
you hate the crackhead now?
Exactly.
So you say crack is wrong?
Exactly.
There
I mean,
you go.
if you have someone in your family that smokes crack, you may not agree with what they're doing, but the deed is still wrong, and you're still supposed to come against it. So when we have people who are false accusers calling you all kinds of things, you know, I looked at a video that Michelle Obama did today. I meant to show that to you, but here she is, the first living. So when I looked at the video, it made, okay, not saying that I needed Michelle Obama to validate the feelings that I have, but she said when her husband became the president, he was being accused of all types of things. She was being accused of this and accused of that. He's being accused of this, that, and the other. And she said many times she would look at these comments. See, we think they don't look at the stuff, attention to it.
Yeah.
This woman is human, okay? She has feelings. And so she said she would look at these things, many times it would just really hurt her heart to read some of the things. As a matter of fact, she talked about some of the things that she was being accused of too. So it's a normal thing to be bothered by these crazy comments and crazy accusations, okay? But this is one of the things, one of the signs of the peril that we're living in, when a person will falsely accuse you for something that you're not even guilty of.
Yeah. You know, we had one person said something about the Illuminati. What did somebody say?
Oh yeah, they said that that Sister Deborah, they told another sister that Sister Deborah is always throwing up Illuminati.
Seriously?
You know, it's you got to understand something. I'm very cautious of the little things, because sometimes I hold my hands funny. I may be talking, and you know, and I have to watch that sometimes.
Like, don't do that no more. You might get
exactly. You know, and I think one time my wife, exactly, and one time my wife was talking about the size of a tomato in the video, and she threw her fingers up. I'm not gonna do it, but you know the symbol.
I was just trying to show the size of the tomato. That's all. I promise.
Somebody said, hey, you know that, and we were like, oh, we got to make sure we don't do those kind of things. I'm watching you so closely, you know what I'm saying?
They ain't hearing the words you're saying. But the box is shorter than the other. I think you should trim the other ones or something like that, or your beard is a little bit. Did you cut some of that off, brother? Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where we're just trying to say that, you know, I think that people are just looking for stuff, and then they're trying to say, oh, it's got to be something wrong, so they're looking for stuff, and then they get to accusing people of doing things and being a certain way, and it don't necessarily be true.
Yes, we're sitting up in perilous times, and people worried about what's going on in La La Land.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
You can't rub two brain cells together to figure out that we have to pay attention to what's going on around us.
That's right.
Sometimes, and you know, me and my husband, we talk about this often, about how our people are dazed out right now, okay? There was a young man around here walking at nighttime, okay? And he was walking past the cemetery here. He was hit by a car, and whoever hit him knocked his body all up in the air. When his body hit the ground, they kept on going. He was they had to fly him to Nashville. Now, the point I'm trying to make in bringing up this story, our people don't understand the country that we're living in. For this young man to be just walking at night, you know, I understand if you have somewhere to go, you have to go, but you got to pay attention to what's going on, because there are literally people out here who are sitting back thinking in their mind, it's night, it's dark, nobody around, there's a nigga walking the street.
Let me tell you something.
Give me a freebie.
Yeah. You know, I saw something earlier today. I saw the young man walking down the street, in the middle of the street, right? Texting. Mm-hmm. Just walking in the middle of the street. And I'm sitting there just shaking my head like, man, we are just so out in La La Land. It don't make any sense. If all of the cell phones and the little gadgets were to just vanish, I'm willing to bet you people just go wild. They probably just start killing everybody, you know? They probably just start killing everybody. My cell phone, just go crazy. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, man, people are just so into all of this stuff, and you got things going on in this world. They more concerned about getting that text through than getting it back out. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't get it. I really just don't get it.
It's time to wake up, Israel.
It's time to wake up.
I saw this picture one time, right, where it showed this girl gonna get swallowed up by a shark, and it showed her with her cell phone. I'm like, let me get this selfie upload to Instagram.
That's how it is. You know, about to die, but just let me get a picture and get it on the internet real quick. You know,
send this shark attack that's about to kill me.
Yeah.
You know, so it can go viral. I'm gonna be dead. I won't be able to get the fame from it, but you know, at least I got it in just in time.
Just in time. Yeah.
Of course, you know it was a Photoshop, but basically he's trying to say the message that people are obsessed with this stuff.
Obsessed with it. And these are the times we're in. Now, let me ask you a question. I want you to think about this here. Now, you think about these people, right, that are like this about these cell phones and all this stuff, okay? Now, when what do they call when right after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. When Black Friday come around, these people be storming the stores trying to get these items dirt cheap, these little gadgets and all this stuff, right? Now, can you imagine what's going to happen when the stuff hit the fan? Okay, when things get crazy, and these are the people. Think about it. They can't get water, right?
Yes.
Or they can't get food, or there's a shortage here, and a shortage there, or a blackout. These are the people that we live around. Now, if they acting like this traveling people down in the stores over a gadget, over a tablet or something,
A new pair of shoes.
or a pair of shoes, something, man, can you imagine how these people are going to be? There were people taking, I remember, I'll never forget this. I saw this image, and I just said, my Katrina, they showed somebody walking in water with a flat screen TV. And I was like, what the heck are you going to do with a flat screen TV? It's flooded up to your ear. You hold it up in the air, walking with it.
Like you ain't got no electricity.
Plug it in there. You gonna plug it? You gonna plug it in the drain or something? It's like, you know. I mean, I'm just trying to understand some of this crazy stuff that we're seeing today. But I told you, perilous times. We're in these times.
Yes.
Now, notice in this passage, what does it say in verse 8? It says, "Now, as James, so do these resist what? The truth."
Yes.
Now, you got truth coming right at people now. And people are looking at this truth and they're saying, not so. It behooves me that you can tell a person that the Messiah's name was not JC, right? And you tell them one letter J, right? More than 400 years ago, wasn't no letter J around. This is a new letter. And they'll sit there and say, no, his name is JC.
God gave him a new name. He used the Catholic Church to do it.
Yeah.
As if they're the authority over everything. Not wanting the truth. We are in perilous times. We are knee deep in perilous times.
That's right.
To the point where truth is being just totally disregarded.
It's totally disregarded. Notice it says, ever learning, but never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. They resist it and they ever learning though. What are they learning? Junk. Stuff.
It kind of reminds me of Christianity.
Yeah.
Anytime you can sit up in a church institution for 20,
a day
40, 50 years. Yes. That's what I call ever learning. Because if you feel like within 50 years, you sitting up in this assembly that you still need something from the pastor, it's like when the Most High dealt with the apostles, they had, what was it, 3 years of training per se? You know what I'm saying? And they were able to go out and spread the good news. Yeah, they sat under the Most High, under Yahushua, yeah, the Messiah. And it's like, but in today's times, we have people sitting up in the church, they still shouting and jumping up and down over the same Easter message, the same Thanksgiving message, the same prosperity message, Mother's Day message, the same. You know what they're gonna preach on, and it's like, is that enough food for you? Aren't you starving to death yet? Yeah. You see, but that's the prime example of ever learning, but never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. That's right. So basically, it's so sad, when I look at what's going on and how we're so blind to everything that's
it's like a storm is brewing, and I can see the clouds, and no one else can see it. It seems like, of course, there are people out there to see it, but the majority of them just can't see it. You know?
Possible size.
Yeah, you know. Let's go to Revelations chapter 6, and we're going to cover some of these things. We'll try to pinpoint where we are, and I'm going to tell you what I believe, and you just tell me what you think about it. But I actually, when I read this before, and we're going to look at the seals that's being opened. Okay, the 6th chapter of Revelations. Okay, and I'm going to read the first few verses. I'll probably let you read some of them. Okay.
Okay.
It says, and I saw, this is Revelation chapter 6, starting at verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, I heard as it was the noise of thunder, and one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering to conquer. Okay. And when he had opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and a black horse, and he that sat upon him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil or the wine. And he that had opened the 4th seal, I heard the 4th beast say, the 4th beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the name of him that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the 4 part of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Now, let's look at this real quickly here. Okay. Now, power was given unto who? The 4 that is talking about here. Now, you all know it, and most people know it as the 4 that I refer to this as. Okay. Now, as you can see, okay, in this passage, what are they going to do? So one of them is going to bring famine. That's why I talked about hunger. Okay, that's why he said he had a pair of balances in his hand, and he said a measure of barley for a penny. That's what he's referring to, the famine. Okay, because the cost of things are going to go up in the time of famine. And so, and then here he talked about the sword and being killed with the sword, and with death, and even a beast of the earth is going to kill. Isn't these all the things that we've been seeing over the past 100 years? Take peace out of the earth. Think about it. The world wars were the biggest wars that ever come on the face of the earth. World war. Because in those days of Napoleon and the world wars, people wasn't battling all over the entire world. It was only in areas of the world. But when the world wars took place, these things are happening all over. Every country all over the planet was literally involved in these wars. So that tells you that this is what's coming to pass here. When he says what? In the scriptures, we know the Messiah said what? Wars and rumors of wars. So this tells you that these seals have already been opened.
Yes.
These seals have already been opened, and these things are already taking place on the earth right now. So I want you to keep that in mind. Okay, now these are happening. Now there's some more seals. We're going to read these other seals and see if they take place yet. So go ahead, Deborah. I'm going to have you read verse 9 through. No, it's verse 9 through.
Did you read 8 yet?
Yeah, we read all of that. We're going to read verse 9 through. Let's see here. You can finish the chapter out. 9 through 17.
Okay. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yah and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Yah, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet a little while, or a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren, that they should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Okay, now, where are we now? So let's look at this here. Are we in the sixth seal? Can't be. Okay, we can't be in the sixth seal because it tells you that the sixth seal is a great earthquake that's going to happen, right? So we're not in the sixth seal. Did you read the seventh seal? Was there a summary? Sixth seal? Okay, no, you didn't. Okay, so basically letting you know here that we can't be in the sixth seal. We know that 1 through 4 have already happened. They're coming to pass in these days, right? But we know the sixth one isn't happening here. So where are we? We're in the fifth seal. Okay, and let's look at the fifth seal again. It says, when he had opened the fifth seal, and I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yah, for the testimony they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Master, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Now, they are at the throne praying for the Most High to bring his wrath on this earth, on those descendants of the people that literally them, basically. Okay, so they're up at the throne right now praying this prayer. Okay, now look at the message look at what the answer that the Most High gave them. Okay, if you keep going in verse 11, it says, White unto them, unto every one of them. And it was said unto them, that they should rest yet for a little season. Now, this time that we're in right now is only going to be a little season. It ain't going to be like all of the time that they've been praying at the throne, because it's been so long that they've been praying at the throne, and they're saying, How long, Father? How long must we wait? Right? And the Father tells them, oh, it's just a little season. What must happen in this little season? Let's look at it. Okay, what must happen? And he said, until their fellow servants and their brethren should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. So some more killing got to be done. Okay, now it gives reference to what? Fellow servants and what else? Brethren. Yes. Now, remember when we did a study before and we were talking about can Gentiles be saved? We were talking in that study and we mentioned something. We said that the Ruach, when you're grafted in, it makes you what? A brethren, a son of the Most High, Yah, right? If you're a son of the Most High, it makes you brethren of who? Yehoshua. That's why in Hebrews, it says that we are his brethren, right?
No longer are we servants.
No longer are we servants. But notice it says, but fellow servants are going to be killed too.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Are you getting this? You see? So these people. We're talking about fellow servants and brethren. So these people that's at the throne, there was a group of both fellow servants and brethren that were up there praying for this revenge to come on earth. So this is what's going on. So that's what we got this coming.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to be careful. That's why you can't be walking around. You know what? I don't come out at night. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. You all. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Now, person will say, "Man, you'll come out here. What you scared? What you scared?" Look, I know what's going on. Okay. I know what's going on. Okay. I know. Okay. The police officers profile black men. Okay. So I'm not in a. If I don't have a car full of people, I'm not going out at nighttime.
Yeah, we were pulled over in Missouri
Yeah.
a couple years back at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was us and the children in the vehicle that they sent us on our way.
Yeah.
But things could have been different if it were just you.
If it was just me, whoo, man, I hate to even think about it. You see what I mean? So I don't try to do that thing. You know, I need some. It's 11 o'clock at night. Oh man, I need some batteries. So I'm gonna whatever I need batteries for. I have to wait till the morning. You know, I'm not coming out for what? You know, you putting yourself out there in the midst of this stuff. I had a friend of mine tell me, he said, man, he don't do it because he knows that officers and they're also planting drugs on people and doing things like that. We know that's a fact. That goes on, you all.
Yes.
So you got to be wise. You got to look at the times we're in and be wise. Right. You can't be just wearing out. You know, you got people out there that hate your skin color. They will read a dog in the street.
Yeah, there was a young man just a few days ago.
Oh my goodness.
A young man a few days ago down in Georgia who they found hanging. They found another black man hanging just a few days ago in front of a house that he did not live in. And it was in connection with a white woman. I don't know all the details of what happened to her, but they said they were questioning him. And before any questioning could be finished, someone finished him. So they found him hanging. And of course, they're always saying we're going to autopsy to find the cause of death. Whenever I hear someone get shot or hung or something like that, they say we're going to do an autopsy to find out the cause of death. That sounds so dumb to me. Yeah, if like, you find somebody hanging from a tree, you don't know what the cause of death is.
Yeah, no, I tell you why they want to do an autopsy. I tell you why they want to do an autopsy. Is because they want to check to see if there's any drugs, and really they don't really care if there's drugs or not. It's called harvesting organs. Okay. Yep.
My mom just told me that they said he committed suicide, just like the hundreds of other black men that they
all these black men just hanging themselves from trees.
They all just commit suicide in front of other people's houses. Most people who commit that type of suicide do it in their own house.
In a closet.
In a closet somewhere.
Yeah.
Who's in their bathroom? Who's gonna go to a neighbor's house up the road, around the corner, down the block, and hang themselves in front of a neighbor's house or in a neighbor's backyard?
Yeah, I have yet to hear of white people find. I have yet to hear of officers finding white men hanging from trees.
Now here's the deal: we're in America, and they're telling us that we're going to slay you and find ourselves not guilty.
Yeah.
Our people don't understand this. They don't know this. They don't understand that we are in perilous times. And so this is why our people keep getting caught up, because of their disobedience. The Most High actually said that this land was going to eat us up and that we wouldn't be sure in this land.
That's right.
We're always going to be looking for trouble. Okay? We have no peace in this land. And because we're not even paying attention to what's going on. We're not paying attention. We get caught in these snares. That's Remember, we did a lesson where we were talking about traps and snares.
That's right.
He said, this land, these people where you're scattered are going to be a trap and a snare unto you.
That's right. So it's like, man, so we're in that seal. We're in the fifth seal. And we're going to see a lot more killings. And it's just going to happen. As the scripture tells you that. So you're going to see it. Okay. So you brothers and sisters out there, y'all better be careful out here. Y'all better be careful. You know, I'm telling you what the word is saying. Okay. So now, what's coming after this? A great earthquake. The Most High gave me a vision a dream, actually, it was last year. He gave me this dream, and he showed me how this earthquake was going to come. And it's just like what the scripture says right here. I did, if you all haven't seen it yet, just go look on my channel. There's a video, I think it's called The Judgment or something like that. Look at the video, the dream right here. Okay, so basically, this is what's coming. So we got to be prepared. You know, we got to be ready for this stuff. You know, so now let's come off the seals here. We're going to talk. We're going to go to Revelations chapter 8 now, which is very important that we see this here too, because some of these things that we're going to talk about in this chapter now, we're going to look around and we're going to see. I want you to do your research now. Everybody that's listening to this broadcast, I want you to do your own research, okay, on what I'm talking about here, what we're going to show you in this chapter 8, okay. Elijah, I'm going to have you read chapter 8. You're going to read verse 1 through 6.
Revelation chapter 8.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Do we need to read all of those? This up here. Actually, you don't have to start there. You can start at verse 7 through 11. Read 7 through 11.
Okay. And the first angel, and there followed hail and fire, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was up. And the second angel sounded, and it was as a mountain of burning with fire was cast in the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea that had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. The third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it was the land, fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of water. And the name of the star was called Wormwood. The third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter.
Okay. Deborah, I'm going to have you read 12 and 13.
I'm going back to the 6th.
It's chapter 8.
And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of it was the third part of it, and the night likewise. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels, which are yet to sound.
Now, I'm going to tell you why this is a very important passage that we look at what's going on here, okay? Now, if we look at go back to verse 5, and it tells you here, it says, and the angel took the censer and filled with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were the voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. So now these are the angels as they get ready to sound these trumps. Okay, the trumps of Yah. Now, when the first angel sounded, what happened? It says it was followed with fire, hail, and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the burned up, and all the green grass were burned up. And the second angel sounded, and it, as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. A third part of the sea became blood, and a third part of the creatures which were in the sea that had life died. And a third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded. Now, basically, what we want to show you here is that we can see a lot of these things slowly taking place in our time. Now, this isn't to say that this angel has actually already sounded the trump, but I think by looking at the things that we see out here, we can tell we're getting close to these things, okay? Now, what am I getting at here, okay? There have been several things that have happened over the last few years that very closely resemble some of this here, okay? I'll never forget when the in the Gulf of Mexico, the oil spill happened, and that giant rig was on fire. And somebody quoted the scripture and said, man, you know, if John was looking, I mean, think about this. If he were looking in the future and he saw that big thing on fire, he would have considered it a mountain. Yeah. He would have actually considered it a mountain, and the waters did become bitter, and there were ships that were destroyed. So if he could have, that could have been what he seen. But I don't think that's what he's seen, because I think it's going to be greater. But I think sometimes the Most High will give you signs to let you know it's coming. You know, it's kind of like you see a cloud come, and then you say, oh, yeah, it ain't going to rain. The next thing you know, you feel a few drops. Now the storm ain't here yet, right? And you're feeling a few drops. So it's kind of like that. It's like the Most High say, I'm going to let some events happen that's going to be similar to this to kind of get you to open your eyes and get prepared.
Well, one thing that I thought about too, that was a good example with the oil, because a lot was destroyed. A lot of the fish destroyed. The water, and I think they're still dealing with that, even though they're lying about it. But think about what happened in Japan with that tsunami and the nuclear waste that has gone into the water. That's right. They are now saying that the Pacific Ocean is dead. You know, someone did a route through there, and he said these people went thousands of miles in this water, just, you know, traveling back and forth, and they said that they hardly saw anything alive in those waters. Yeah. Except a few large fish that had sores or tumors and stuff on their side. Yeah. Yeah, but for the most part, it's full of plastic. You know, they actually have something called plastic islands now. That's right. Because plastic is another waste that has found its way into the water and is finding its way inside of fish bodies, and everything is making the waters bitter. That's right. All that nuclear that spilled, all that nuclear waste or radiation, that spilled in the water is making it bitter, making people sick. You see, and that kind of reminds me of something that could have taken place too, because things are not getting better with that water. That's right. This is why so many, we don't even like to eat fish no more. Okay. Yeah. Every so often we'll eat it, but we're getting to the point where we just don't trust it anymore. Yeah, I'm to the point now. I love fish. I mean, anybody that know me, they'll tell you that this brother love him some fish. I love catching fish. I love eating fish. But for some reason, this last time I had some fish, I got some fish from the market, you know, and I didn't the fish we got from our friends. That fish was excellent, you know. But this fish that we've been buying here, I'm just getting to the point where I just don't want to do fish anymore. I'm feeling a little like, if you know this is what's going down, and this radiation and fish are dying and all this, and I'm still eating fish, I kind of feel kind of funny knowing what's coming. Yes. And I just don't want to fool with fish, you know. I'm get to the point where I don't want to fool with it. This is one of those things too, where if you know perilous times are here, and you have alternatives, why not do those? Yeah. You know, one thing we want to do, and we've seen a few people doing this, is to have our aquaponics system where you raise one way to run this, you know, but all of that takes time, it takes money. But that's a desire that we have, because if you want to eat fish, it's better to raise it yourself, just like anything else, so that you know what's going into your body. Because a lot of this stuff, it makes you feel drowsy. Yeah. I don't feel the same anymore. I just don't feel the same anymore. It's like I don't feel like I'm that old, but sometimes I feel very tired. Yeah. And I just don't think this is natural. Yeah. You know, that lets you know that this land is really, really getting to us as a people. That's right. And as much as we can, we need to come out from among them and be ye separate. And we need to do our own thing. But it's easy to say, we do understand that. But we're just trying to keep you all abreast of what's going on. We all need to have these wake-up calls. Yeah. These alarms sound from time to time, because many times we will hit the snooze button on our brain and go right back to sleep. Right back to sleep. And it's high time for us to awake out of our sleep. Yeah, we got to awake out of sleep. You know, too many of us, we're sleeping. There's things going on all around us, and we're not connecting the dots. We're not looking at the weather. I'm trying to show you how to read these signs
and be ready for these signs. We're going to have an answer, too, at the end of all this, what you should be doing, okay? So now, what I want to look at this passage here again. Now, another thing that it said here, it told you that a lot of fish and things are going to die, right? Then it says something about a great star fell from heaven into the rivers. Now, a lot of times when the scripture talk about a star falling from heaven, it could be an angel, okay? So let's think about that. It could actually be an angel. Okay, but anyway, it says, and the star was called Wormwood, and a third part of the rivers became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. So in hearing that, and you know it's going to come to pass, and you know we're in the days of Revelations, shouldn't that make you start to save some water, or come up with your own little water cisterns, or buying water and saving water or catching water? I mean, in my mind, thinking about all of these things going on, it tells me to prepare and be ready for this stuff. You know? So that's
that the Most High make provision.
Make provision, exactly. Now, if you go on down, it says the fourth angel sounded. Now, and the sun, the third part of the sun was smitten when the fourth angel sounded. The third part of the moon and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them were darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it. Now, imagine just briefly, if we get what now, about 9 hours of daylight now, or 12 hours? What we get, about 12 hours? A little more than 12 hours. Let's see, it's
sun rises at 6 to 8 o'clock right now.
About 14 hours of daylight, right? So it says that it's going to be cut down to a third. So we're talking about a third,
3 hours,
about 4 to 5 hours, you know, of daylight. There ain't enough time for no crops and stuff to grow. So you got to know that it's going to be all kinds of weird things going on. You see, oh my goodness, we're going to have to be ready for this stuff. We got to be ready. It's going to happen over, and a lot of people are going to suffer, okay? Now, I know that Most High is going to make provision for his people. Because just like in the days of Egypt, what happened? Egyptians, they suffered, Yah's people didn't, okay? Because of the blood that was on the door and because he was there for his people didn't suffer. Matter of fact, didn't they tell them to fill their vials with water? If I'm correct, I think it may say that. We have to research that and look at that and let you know if it said that. But if it did, then that's telling you that the Most High is telling us, hey, be ready. You know, be ready, you see. So it's just a number of things that's going on. And when you know famine is coming, you put up food. Ain't that what Joseph did? Joseph knew that the famine was coming. He saved Egypt from the famine. Okay, and a lot of the people around the land of Egypt. Okay, so now let's go down to then it says that, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud, whoa, whoa, whoa. So basically, it's just going to be crazy, you know. It talked about the grass burning up and things like that. Now, let me share something with you right now, okay? Right now in California, there's a horrible drought. The drought is so bad, Lake Mead is dried up. I mean, really dried up. And Lake Mead they were sending water from Lake Mead, which is where the big dam is. You look up Lake Mead if you want. Just look it up and look at comparison photos of Lake Mead, and it'll show you how it was and where it is now. Dried up. Okay, California, they say now they only have enough reserve for another year, I think is what they were saying.
Yes.
Now, what should that tell you about that area then?
It's time to get out of there.
It's time to get out of there. So if you're in California, you might want to start getting out of California. Any of those areas out west where it's kind of drying up and no water, you need to come up out of those areas. You know, a brother one time we talked to, he went and viewed this land that was in Arizona, and it was so dry, just dry as can be. It probably was dirt cheap. I mean, it was a steal, but
it was a steal.
It was a steal. It was an incredible deal. Yeah.
The person selling it was trying to steal from the buyer.
Yeah, because because it was literally no water. you know, and the land is, you get the drought that's going on, and it's like, well, where you getting water? Where you gonna get water from? So you got to be careful where you move.
Yes.
You got to look into these things and know what's going on in your areas, what could possibly happen, then whether you should get out of those areas or not. You know, just look at the. Hey.
Yeah, what's the point to get 50 acres of dead dirt land?
Yeah,
That's just a lot of land with nothing going on.
Can't grow nothing on it. What's the point? You know. So anyway, I just want you to be aware of these things. We're gonna go to this last passage now, which is chapter 16. And I really hope we're getting your attention here, because this
Revelation chapter 16.
Yeah, Revelation chapter 16. Okay, and I'm going to start reading some of this, and then I'll let Deborah read some. Okay, and I heard a great voice of the temple, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of wrath, of the wrath of Yah upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon men which had the mark of the beast upon them, which worship his image. Okay, and now that's the first vial. Okay. Well, men are going to start getting these horrible sores. Okay, so we know we start seeing people getting horrible sores. We don't know what's going on, basically. Okay, then it says, and the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became blood as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. Okay. Now, and the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and the fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard an angel of the waters say, thou art righteous, O Master, which was, and shall be, because thou hast thus judged us. For they have shed the blood of the saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. Now, I want you to think about what he said here. He said they shed the blood of Yah's people, so he's going to give them blood to drink. Now, I want you to do your research on this one. Those of you that's listening to this, if you don't know this, go and research waters that's turning to red. Turning red. They turn red all over the planet. Just go and look at it, okay? This should be enough to make you say, man, we're getting close. And remember what I said? Sometimes the Most High, he gives you these little signs so that you can see, oh, that's about to come. Because he's just he's trying to warn his people so his people can get ready and get prepared. And the best way to get prepared is mentally more than anything. Because when people start seeing these things, they're going to go out their mind. They're going to react crazily. Yes. And the Most High don't want us to react crazy. He wants us to sit back and wait and be patient, because he's going to make a way for us.
Stand still and see the salvation.
That's right. And see the salvation of Yah. So basically, go and research it yourself. I have some of these images online. I've done videos before of this stuff. Matter of fact, in White It Out too, we show images of the waters turning red all over the place. And so this is a fact. It's all over red, you know, turning red. So just do your research on it, okay? Yes. Now, let's look at the next one here. Now it says, so he's going to get them blood to drink, basically. And it
also said, too, that every living creature died in the sea.
There you go.
I mean, we see tons and tons.
They say the Pacific Ocean don't have anything living in it no more?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So it's creatures dying all over the place.
It's not just the fish. You have seal, whales, seagulls, dolphins.
Yep.
I think it was a bunch of starfish. Crabs. All kinds of animals are just dying.
It's dying. We put a little segment in White It Out too. For those of you that don't know, go watch White It Out too, and you will see some of the stuff that's actually taking place right now. Just millions of animals dying all over the place. Millions of fish and sea animals dying all over the place. Millions of birds dying all over the place. Just go and look at it for yourself.
I mean, cattle and pigs.
Research it for yourself. Bees, all kinds of stuff just dropping dead, you know. So this is all the Most High giving you a sign. You see, he gives you these signs so that you can be ready.
Yes.
Okay, so let's wake up out of this la-la land. Quit texting about this and about that. You want to text something? Text this.
Yeah.
You know, text this here.
Yes.
You know, because this is what's real. This is what's going down right now.
Yeah.
So we're telling everybody, y'all, get your eyes open and pay attention.
Okay, it's okay to occupy till you come. When you know something is about to go down, your occupying should deal with what's about to go down.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of running your family off to Disneyland, you should be running them off somewhere where they can learn how to fish, gather food from the
That's
woods,
right.
learn how to grow food. I mean, take them on one of those type of
Yeah,
adventures.
exactly.
You know, our people. I have family that take their family to go visit Mickey Mouse. down in Disneyland. And I'm like, every time I hear that they're going down there, I'm like, man, you ain't got nothing else better to do with your money and your time than to take your family to Disneyland.
I'll tell you one thing, kids in this house don't know nothing about Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Yeah, you ask our kids about Mickey Mouse, they don't know who that is. They don't watch some things, you know. They watch Backyardigans and what's the other stuff?
Yeah.
The Veggie Tales and a few others.
Mm-hmm.
But Mickey Mouse and all of that other stuff, it's just, you know,
Yeah.
we don't have cable in this house. Whatever our children watch, things that we get for them to watch, because we like what their money Disney is. Okay, they have all types of messages in their videos. So instead of filling your kids' heads with all this nonsense, fill their heads with some knowledge.
That's right.
Give them an understanding. Yes, survival.
That's
Teach your
right.
children how to survive.
That's right.
You know, it's really sad, but we were a people who knew how to survive.
That's right.
You know, where we came from, we were growing food, we were harvesting water,
That's
we were
right.
doing all kinds of things back in our land.
That's
You
right.
see, but as we are over here in the land of our captivity, it seems like everything is just gone and missing now.
Yeah, we want everybody to hand us stuff. You know, we don't want to go out and kill your own chicken and cook them yourself. No, I want chicken that's already cut up and everything. No, I don't even want to have to cook it. Now I just want to go to a place that's already fried waiting for me. You know, that's just how we are now. You know, we've gathered to that kind of lifestyle. You
Something
know?
as simple as a salad. Someone that posted a video on Facebook, and how they preserve those bag salads.
Yeah.
That's really scary when you think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
They use things to preserve this stuff.
We don't need it.
It's like we got to really try our best to come up out of this mess. We've got to try our best because they are killing us slowly.
I guess it goes back to what we talked about before too, where we said Judah over here. It seems like Judah over here in America, we don't know how to do anything. If you look at Judah that was shipped to the other nations, like down in Haiti or all those places, they know how to do stuff.
Yeah.
They know how to raise animals and fish and do all kinds of things. Grow crops.
And they lay water and
They know how to look at the sky and tell the direction north, east, south, west.
Yeah, all of that.
But
But
yeah,
over
Judah
here, all
over
we know
here.
how to do is rap and twerk.
Yeah, you could ask Judah over here in America. You ask Judah, which state hosts the Kentucky Derby every year?
And they'll tell
And
you
they'll be
it's
like,
China.
Kansas?
They liable to say China.
they hold it in Washington, D.C.
And, you know, it's sad, you all. This is a sad reality. We're not making fun of our people, but we're saying it's time
Get
to
it
wake up,
together.
because when you look at, get it together.
Get out of La La Land.
Get out of La La Land. Wake up. There's so many things happening, and our people, I mean, we talk about this a lot, where sometimes we'll get into a conversation about something very serious with family or friends on the phone, and they will change the conversation
Or they got to go do something.
on a different note, or, well, yeah, that's good. Can we talk about something else? They don't want to hear about this stuff. We think, our people think that if they forget about it or ignore it, that it will just go away.
Yeah, and guess what? When the sky get to falling all down and stuff, they call you up to talk.
I'm not going down to my den.
You know, going down to my bunker, you know. So it's just basically just we just gotta, man. I sometimes I just don't know what to say, you know, when I look at how we're just so into so many other things. But you can't talk to us about preparing and being ready for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Any little disaster can cause life.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? It cause you to lose your life because you don't have enough water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like when that little water thing happened in Ohio, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
near Toledo.
Yeah, near Toledo. You know, that was a bad scare.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people didn't have no water saved up. You know,
How they respond.
yeah.
For that water.
Michelle's gonna empty quick. Let me tell you something. When it comes time and you don't know and something happens, some type of natural disaster happens and ain't no water. If it happens in one little town, of course the government tries to come, they drop water and do all this. But imagine if it hit the whole country. Then you're on your own.
You be up the creek without a paddle.
Without a paddle, that's right. Yeah.
And as we sit here and we say these things, we want you all to understand and to know that we're talking to ourselves too. Okay. Yeah. We understand that we all have to make some type of preparations, that we all have to take heed to the times that we're living in. And it's very difficult. We understand it's difficult to do this on your own. Yeah. And that's why cohesion is great. But for our people, we always wait till it's too late.
Yeah.
You know, there was something I saw on RT News about a year ago. It was 7 families in this one region. They were forced to come together. They all started building their own little houses on this land that they were all sharing together. They helped each other build these houses. They helped each other raise the food, grow the food, fetch the water, do all of that because they were forced to. Mm-hmm. You see? Yeah. Now imagine being forced to do something like that and you have nothing to start with. You don't even have a land. Yeah. That's a bad place to be in. A lot of us find ourselves in that position, having to start with. That's and right. So, you know, we've talked about these things before, and coming together seems to be the hardest thing for us to do.
Yeah. It does seem to be the hardest thing, you know. Mm-hmm. I tell you, we got some plans, you know. We got some plans, some things we want to do, and it's like I just don't want to be caught off guard. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. These next verses, I guarantee you, gonna get your attention. Okay, Deborah, you can read 8 through 12.
8 through 12, and we're almost finished. And the 4th angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of Yah, and which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. And the 5th angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast. It was full of darkness. They gnawed pain and blasphemed the Elohim of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. And the 6th angel poured out his vials upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
Now I'm gonna tell you why this should really get your attention. Okay, go to the internet, go to Google, and type up the river Euphrates dried up. Okay, and look at the image of the Euphrates River right now. It's almost completely dried up. Mm-hmm. Just go and do it yourself. Do that research yourself. And now this should be enough for the kings of the east so that they can come into battle.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is all being set. Don't you see? The playing field is being set now. The game is already started now. And we got to prepare to be ready for what's about to go down. You see this go down. So now you got the sun is going to be scorching people. You got all this, and you're going to see more areas that had water are going to start to dry up, and one of them was the Euphrates River.
One thing I want to say about the sun scorching people, there was a commercial where it was a soda pop commercial or something like that. You all saw the commercial. That's right. Mm-hmm. Can you explain that commercial where that lady dropped Was she the sun? She dropped some water and people were trying to get that water.
I'm trying to remember the commercial. I don't quite
I remember you two were telling me about the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
But you had said one time that the whole world seems to worship the sun, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
They seem
Yeah.
to worship the sun, right?
Yeah.
So the sun is going to be like, since y'all love me so much, since y'all worship me,
Let's
give me a big hug.
Group hug. How do we do
Yeah. Give me a big hug since you love me so much. Since
That's
you
right.
want to worship me, give me a hug.
The Most High gonna do that to
Mhm.
because they.
And it's going to scorch them.
That's right.
But those of us, and someone said something about the pineal gland in the chat, but also Dr. Umar said the pineal gland produces melanin.
Yeah.
So the sun kisses us.
That's right.
It gives us a big kiss every day. Hallelujah. But for those who worship the sun and they're not supposed to worship the sun, it frowns at them.
Yeah.
Since you created a worship around the sun
Yep.
through Christianity and sun worship,
That's right.
your son that you worship, he's going to come and give you a kiss, and it ain't going to feel good.
Yeah.
That's why this passage here says that it burned them and gave them sores.
That's right. Burned them and gave them sores. Now watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you keep reading later on in Revelations and the what is the Most High gonna do to the sun? He gonna get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know why he gonna get rid of it? So people don't worship it no more. And then guess what he's gonna do? His glory alone is gonna light the universe.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
I'm getting rid of that. So and
Yes.
it's like, man, you see the sun rising in the morning. People can't help but to bow down and worship it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just crazy when you think about it. You see, so these are all things I want you to think about. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then here's the last part. Let me see if we need to read this. Okay, no, we don't have to read the rest of this. Okay, you can in your own time. You can read the rest of it where it talks about the unclean spirits and everything. But basically, what we're trying to really do is get you to really wake up and think about how close we could be to some very dangerous, because it says perilous times, right?
Yes.
Very dangerous things are going to come upon this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of these things that shall come to pass, because that's what it says in the word, that you be counted worthy to escape these things.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and so the Most High, he wants you to pray and ask him, what can you do? What can you do to prepare yourself for what's coming to pass? What can you do? And the key is, well, you know, with famine coming, right? You need to save water. You need to store yourself some water, okay? And if all these other things that it's talking about coming, right? You need to figure out a way that you can grow yourself some things, okay? And you need to figure out a ways of saving food and even storing up some food. You know, I tell everybody, hey, store up some food. At least store up enough stuff to get you through a few months.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Store up enough stuff to get you through a few months.
Yes.
You got to do that. One thing I love to store up is rice. Rice is very easy to store. It's dried, and and you can buy it cheaply and in bulk. You know, things like that, canned goods even. I mean, I know a lot of that stuff ain't probably got MSG and some of that in it, but let me tell you, when that time hits, them canned goods gonna be. People will be trying to get some MSG, you know, but it's just kind of crazy how bad times can get. But basically, I'm talking about the vegetables and things that are good like that. Get those canned goods and just store up on a lot of stuff, you know.
I think the key too. I think the key is cohesion. Yeah. Because we can all do things in our own cities and towns and homes all we want to.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done,
yeah,
one could chase 1,000. and 2 could chase 10,000.
That's right. And 10, my goodness, I hate to imagine what 10 can do. You know, can you imagine if just 10 of you all were to come together and get some land and say, hey, let's start to do this. Let's raise our own livestock. Let's start to till the ground and plant crops and stuff. Let's get off the system. Let's build ourselves a wind turbine and some solar panels. Let's build our own structures, our own homes. Let's get completely off the system where we don't need anything from this government. That's really what the answer is for now, because those that are, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the city is probably the last place to be, but I know the Most High is gonna make room for the way for those that can't make it out of the city. So don't be so afraid. You got to believe that, because a lot of us ain't gonna make it out of the city. Okay, a lot of us just ain't. But in essence, what are we telling you? That even if you can't prepare because of some financial strain or whatever it may be in your life, still prepare yourself here. Okay.
But remember, 1 could chase 1,000, 2 could chase 10,000.
2 could chase 10,000.
All we need is 10 families.
Yeah, exactly.
Just groups within different areas. Like even in Detroit, I hear that a lot of people are starting to pull together community gardens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hearing that more and more in different areas.
Yeah.
I mean, wherever you are, you have to understand that you got to do something.
That's right.
You have to do something. Even if you don't have land and you have a relative that has a backyard that they ain't used, and say, look, if you can let me grow the food, we can share it.
That's right.
I mean, that's the thinking that I like to have, that if we at least try something, when this time hits, it's coming. Understand that it's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Do something. Do whatever you can.
Do whatever you can. Do whatever you can. You know, to try to come together with people and just and do it. You know, and I think find like-minded people that think like you, and where you could come together. And I mean, it would be awesome. Can you imagine if one family decide? Let's say you had a piece of land, right? And you got 10 families, and one family say, you know what, I'm gonna grow just corn, right? Another family say, hey, we're gonna just raise chickens. You know, another family say, hey, we're gonna deal with the goats. We're gonna raise goats. Another family said, hey, we're gonna grow wheat and things like that. Another family say, hey, I'm gonna grow all the other vegetables like greens and cauliflower and broccoli and bell peppers, right? And then you had another family to say, hey, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna manage a nice big pond and keep catching raising bluegill and tilapia or whatever it is that you could grow in that pond, you know. And we're gonna do this here. And another person say, hey, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna raise cattle. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine?
You have a chef in the community.
Yeah. Maybe you may have a couple of chefs. Maybe you may have a couple of people that sew clothes. You know, I mean, the possibilities can be endless.
One thing I want to note, we always talk about cohesion with our people and the lack thereof. When you look at some of the Hebrew communities that are out there, like Pastor Roberts and Brother Yahya, he's deceased, but they have a community. And you look at Pastor Dow's community. When you look at some of these communities, there is a lack of cohesion with some of them because people can't get along. One thing I noticed with Pastor Dow's community, he has to deal with Gentiles because some of our people are just
that brother come over there on that community, he'd be like, all right, put my feet up.
Yeah, some of our people don't like to cooperate. Y'all know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about.
Some of our people don't like to cooperate, so it makes it that much more difficult to come together when you have people who don't understand the situation. Yeah. Okay, if we all understand the situation, everyone has to work hard. Everyone has to pull their own weight. Everyone has to do their part. And that's one lesson that is hard to learn in the Black community.
That's right.
Okay, and we just pray that the Most High would begin to bless our minds, enough of us, you know, because we're going to need each other. We're all going to need each other. Yeah. And as long as we have ease and comfort right now, we can't think past that. Yeah. But if you can just fast forward maybe 6 months, a year, or 2 years to when some of these perilous times are going to be just right at your door, maybe then you can take things more seriously. If you look at this book, this Bible, as if this is your life being played. If you look at it from that perspective, instead of something that's going to happen future down the line, if we stop looking at it like that, then we could take this thing more seriously. But as long as we're looking at this text like, oh, that's not going to happen in my lifetime. Oh, that'll probably happen when my children have children. As long as you keep pushing it down the line, the scripture says, like a snare, all of these things are going to come up on the earth.
Yeah, that's
and it's
right.
going to catch people off guard.
That's right. So basically, you know, we just want you all to be ready, you know, and
we want to be ready.
Yeah,
Help us,
we want to be ready. Yeah,
Help
exactly.
us,
And we trying our best to get as ready as we can get, you know. But at the same time, like I said before, we know the Most High is going to make way for some of you. I don't want you all to panic out there, because I know some of you out there, the older people who can't do much at all. Don't panic. Okay, get ready here. At least get ready here, because the Most High can make a way. Okay.
Yes.
But anyway, we're going to end this lesson now. We don't want. We hadn't planned on really going too long of a lesson, and you know, we just want to say that we love you all. You know.
Yes,
and,
as always, we love you all.
Yeah.
And we enjoy this time we share together.
And don't forget to show up on Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
12 o'clock noon, our time, which is Central Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope to have
enjoy fellowship with you
then. So on that note, we're going to say Shalom.